It's like, I never really got along with my father.
Oh, baby.
Oh, hey, Daisy.
We're not eating a crab boil.
We're not eating
Come here,
seafood
baby.
boil.
Cheers. Well, here we are again.
Well, it's Advice Wednesday.
Here on MKUsual, it's like MK Ultra, but more normal.
It's the day we fix everyone's problems.
You lob them up, we knock them down.
Ooh woo. What is that?
It's the little tiny Korean heart.
Uh-oh.
It's supposed to look like a heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's dive into this. You have one this week, right?
I have one.
We'll
It's pretty heavy. I'll warn you, it's pretty heavy.
You always bring the heavy
I
ones.
know. It's just this one's. Anyway, maybe you start and maybe pick a time when the mood is too good and you need to ruin it.
Well, all of these are tragic.
Okay.
This one's a good service industry one. Comes from user Calm Explosion.
It's a good username.
It's an Am I the Asshole? I refused to pay for extra food I received on accident. I ordered delivery. I ordered takeout and I ended up receiving 2 extra containers. I didn't think anything of it because sometimes they separate the fries. So I figured our burgers and fries were separate. I got inside, started opening everything and realized, oops, there were 2 things I didn't order. We ended up getting someone else's order with ours. I was so busy. I was just trying to feed the husband and kids. I knew I wasn't going to attempt to return the food as it had already opened inside my house. I didn't feel too horrible because I did leave the guy a good tip. 45 minutes later, I get a phone call from the owner of the restaurant. She said, "Hello, I noticed you received someone else's order and was hoping you could either return it or cover the cost for our extra food we got." For some reason that made me so upset, I refused to pay extra, especially because it was 2 items we would never normally ordered. I tipped the driver well. I did the math and the food we received came to $21. Aside from the $37 I paid for the food order, I wasn't about to spend $58 plus the $10 tip I left to the driver. Am I the asshole for not paying for extra food that I did not order or ask for? No.
No, that's a cost of doing business.
I think the owner of the restaurant sounds like a psycho.
I know those types of. I've worked. This is all depressing already. I've worked for people like that.
I have too.
The people I've had the best experiences working for, they taught me the lesson that if worst case scenario, you have to pay for a table's entire check. Let's say it's 4 people, they all spent $25, but they all had a bad time or something happened. You pay that $100 and maybe even give them a appetizer coupon or some incentive to come back and give you another chance. That is going to pay out dividends in the long run because you could lose 4 customers instead of losing $100 that day.
Yeah.
It's always play the long con, and you're not going to please everybody, but give yourself the chance to have a second chance.
Bro, also,
and it was your mistake
I honestly think I'd be so livid I may never eat or associate with that place again. Also, I'd wonder about their practices because,
right,
dude, that food's been in my
They asked to
house.
return the food. That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's the mentality of
they either don't know food safety or they do and don't care, and I don't know which one is worse.
Or I read it more. Yes, true. I kind of read it more as because I know people like this who are just stingy. I read it more as your gain is my loss, no matter what. That's how people like that think.
Yes.
So it's not even necessarily they're gonna get this food and give it to the right people, or it's hey, you got something extra, even though it was all my mistake, and therefore I have lost. Which in a way they kind of did lose because they got to remake the food or they lost that other order or, whatever.
Yeah, but the
It's
cost of that food.
That's the other thing.
The $21 labor.
It's probably $10 a food.
Less, yeah. Probably I was gonna say $7. It's usually like a good 30% is like a kind of a bad food cost, but yeah, like just for easy math, it's like $7.
Yeah, I actually hate this restaurant owner.
Yeah.
You are stingy and weird. It's like you can't. It's thinking about things in life in terms of like winners and losers, you know what I mean? That's how I read the phone call.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you're not supposed to get one over on me. You're not supposed to, when this person did absolutely nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But it's like it's psycho stingy behavior.
Yeah, the battle is with yourself, and they can't accept that. They're putting it on the innocent customer.
Yep. Not the asshole.
Definitely not the asshole.
Next one from Doll Ad, the 1419. Would I be the asshole if I told my therapist to stop eating during our sessions? I've been seeing, this is like a freaking Seinfeld episode. I've been seeing a therapist and she's lovely, but the other day she did something that really puzzled me. Usually she would have a cookie or tea during our sessions, but that day she ate a seafood boil. If you're not familiar with a seafood boil, it's a type of dish with crab, shrimp, crawfish are mixed together with spice sausage in a plastic bag, spice sauce. I like seafood boils, but I found the smell and crackling of the shellfish to be extremely distracting during my therapy.
People put on plastic gloves to eat that because it's so messy. They give you a fucking bib in plastic gloves. You eat it with your hands.
Am I the asshole for asking my therapist not to do the 32-ounce steak food challenge during my PTSD session? So he finds the crackling of the shellfish distracting. I'd like to continue therapy with her as she's really helpful, but I'm scared of confrontation. Would I be the asshole if I told her?
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sounds like something she needs to talk to her therapist about.
Yeah. For the record, this was an in-person session. I was really distracted because of the strong smell and because her hands were really messy. I felt extremely out of place and thought it was bizarre that my therapist was cracking crab legs and eating corn on the cob while discussing my progress and thoughts. Am I the asshole if I told her to stop eating messy food?
No. I feel so bad for this person. Oh, that feels so good to laugh. Not at that.
Okay.
Oh, thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, that's an all-timer, dude. That literally is like a freaking sitcom,
Dude,
or like
that's like Curb Your
SNL
Enthusiasm.
sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Okay, any final thoughts before we move on?
No, I think that the person sounds so nice.
I know.
And just like trying so
I don't like
hard.
confrontation.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, like, what if that's why they were there? They struggle with like advocating for themselves and the person. Well, did they share? Did she offer?
I don't know. But you're
for
right.
her
I love when
fucking
she says
boiled
that her
egg.
hands were getting messy. He said this is disgusting. All right.
It's just that you eat it out of a plate, tear the bag open, and just fucking shovel it.
So freaking gross.
Also, like, that's her lunch? That's what she did for lunch that day? That's like something you do with your family and go out.
Yeah, that's
It's
odd.
not
That's a weird thing. That's like eating. Like I used to go until I got shamed by this girlfriend. I used to a lot of times during lunch when I worked in this office, I would walk to the grocery store. I would get an entire rotisserie chicken, and then I would take it to the park and eat it with my hands. And I told that to somebody once, and they laughed, just like you're laughing about this seafood boil.
That's way.
And I was
more
like, okay,
rational.
maybe I'm weird. Okay. Next up, not safe for work. This one, oddly enough, I can't find the username, but it's would I be the asshole? Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend I don't want to indulge in his kink anymore? I'm a 20-year-old female. My boyfriend's a 21-year-old male. We've been together for 2 years. Recently, he wanted to do more in the bedroom, and try to spice things up. I don't really have any specific things I like to do in the bedroom, but my boyfriend has voiced his. He likes to stuff my belly to be as round as he likes it and just play with it. So I had never heard of this before, but after doing a bit of research, it's not that uncommon. Yes, it is.
Very
Yes,
uncommon.
it is. That's weird. Dude, people are way too... Dude.
Her boyfriend is the fucking serial killer from Seven.
Yeah.
Just fed her.
I don't even know, or maybe he's like puts pillows up. I don't know. And what does he mean play with it? I decided to go along with it maybe about 6 months ago, and we've been doing it on and off for about 6 months. At first, I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed making him happy. But lately, it just hurts. I voiced my opinions to him that my belly is just hurting, even after, and it's making me feel unwell a lot, and I also feel like it's ruining a good relationship I had with food. Yeah, this is bizarre. He just dismisses it and says it's part of the process. What?
My God.
What process?
My God.
Dear Lord, dude, he's going to eat you. He just, so fast forward to last week, we stuffed my belly and whatnot. Of course, I'm in pain, and unfortunately, it's not the sexy pain I had in the beginning. It just hurts.
We stuffed my belly.
Yeah, this is... So I tell him I'm not feeling good and I'd rather cut it short tonight. He said that he agreed, and I thought that meant we would be taking a break. He pulled out laxatives. He said he wanted to take it a step further and literally hear my stomach struggle. Oh, Jesus Christ. Obviously, I said no. I was already feeling like shit, and no pun intended, and I did not want to have diarrhea on top of all this. He started saying that we would take a long break after this so that my belly would have a break, like repeatedly saying it, and I stupidly gave in. I've been in so much pain the last week, and today he's talking about doing it again. So I just told him I don't want to do it anymore. I wasn't getting pleasure out of this anymore. We got into a huge argument, and now he's staying at a friend's house for a few days. I really don't think I'm in the wrong here. Just honestly don't know what to do right now. Run! Run away! The process?
I need a second.
Okay. The process. That's part of the process.
Hey, babe, every day for lunch, I'm going to need you to eat an entire lobster and crab
Seafood
boil at
thing.
work.
Maybe that's the therapist is the woman in that. It's part of one big kink.
Oh, my God. Did it ever say what the kink was called? Does it have a name?
No. I could ask the internet.
Let's figure this out.
What is the kink called where you stuff someone's belly? It's got to be something like people, they watch like mukbang videos and shit of
Yeah.
hot girls. It's called a belly fetish. A stomach fetish, also known as alvenolognia. It's when a person is sexually attracted to a midriff or belly.
That seems...
Wait, but this... It's related to navel fetishism. Licking or sucking a navel.
I feel like that's kind of different.
They are also into belly-on-belly contact. Here's Wikipedia. A couple demonstrating belly-to-belly contact in the missionary position. That's not a fetish. That's the missionary position. Individuals with this fetish tend to enjoy having sexual intercourse in the missionary position. Our society has lost its mind.
Missionary.
People do not have missionary
kink.
sex because they're sexually attracted to your belly to belly. That's crazy.
That just happens because my fucking belly hangs out. Just like, it's just gonna happen. Okay. The wee part, the wee stuff in my belly, that's like deeply disturbing. The process, that is very disturbing.
The process.
Oh my God, the fucking laxatives.
Dude, and he's like,
struggle.
It's time to take it up to the next step, he said. He was preparing too. She says she like pulled him out of nowhere. He was like waiting for this day.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so far we've got 3 winners.
Yeah, consensus, not the asshole on any of these, I think, yeah?
Yeah, consensus. Okay, here's another one. Am I the asshole? This is from Not Guilty, I Promise. All right. Actually, I haven't read this one. I just thought the headline is interesting. Am I the asshole? My ex messaged me 13 years later saying I emotionally messed her up and I'm kind of mortified. So I'm going to put all the cards on the table. I was 18, she was 16. I had never really had any type of example of what love was. Everyone divorced and hated each other. Just to paint a picture of where I was at. She messages me saying the relationship from 13 years ago was damaging to her because we would hook up kind of in the room underneath a blanket during something like band practice, not sex, just like fooling around. I didn't feel 100% comfortable, but I remember for a fact she said something like, "We'll always have the blanket," when talking about being alone together. The band was total shit, and I eventually quit and stopped hanging out with all of them and made better friends. Then it was just her and me and what I thought was a happy relationship. She's saying that I over-sexualized her a lot, and I'm not sure if she means it. Like I tried to hook up too often, which is probably true, or I would sometimes ask her to wear her Catholic uniform because it was hot. But at the end of the day, I really, really liked her and always tried to make her happy. I know it's 13 years ago and I feel bad. If I hurt her or affected her, I feel miserable at the thought. That's bizarre. Trying to get closure after 13 years about something that happened when you're 6. Dude, you're 16, 18. Of course you're going to be horny. Of course the guy's going to want to have sex all the time.
Yeah. I guess maybe they both weren't Catholic in Catholic school, but she was.
Dude, I'm sorry. I thought there was going to be like abuse allegations or something, or there's going to be a huge age gap. Like that. That's just being like.
It didn't say how long. I guess it implied they were together for a while. So he was like, yeah, they met in high school probably, and then he turned 18. She's 16.
It's not a weird age gap.
Yeah, it's just.
I just feels like selfish on her part to be dragging up stuff from your teenage years, you know. In my mind,
it depends on how she said it too. Like, if she does need closure, like that's something for a professional. It's not.
Well, what's he supposed to do
at that point? Yeah, there's nothing.
What are you gonna apologize? I mean, the more I think about this, the less I like it. Because let's say, okay, what's she looking for? Let's say ideally what she's looking for is like an apology, maybe? I mean, what can he do? I'm sorry for being horny when we dated 13 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't make any...
I get what you're saying.
Irrational.
We're also only hearing it from Not Guilty, I Promise.
That's true.
This is a weird one.
I think that something feels very selfish about what that woman's doing to me. She would be 29 now. He would be 31. You're talking about shit that happened in high school. And you're specifically talking about consensual sex that you had.
Because they were together for
Oh, that's true.
a while. I assume at least a year or two.
This feels like she recently went through like another breakup or some kind of life event and she's like thinking about her life too much, or maybe she's in therapy. and they've pinpointed long-term issues she had as somehow being related to that, and like she wants this closure.
I get the wanting closure, but
Dude, I'm sorry, you are not entitled to closure.
well, that's what I'm gonna say. It's you're not he doesn't owe you anything. The closure
It comes from you.
yeah, and if you need help, go to someone else besides the person who you need closure from. That's a natural impulse though for her to want closure from him. It's just not a healthy one, and it's something you do when you don't know the right thing to do, or that there are better.
Is that a man-woman thing? Because I've known so many women, or it's almost like a trope, that they want closure from exes, or they keep their exes kind of on the periphery. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's necessarily man woman. I've had that impulse too. Like I felt like I was wronged and doesn't matter the context of it. I just felt that impulse to get closure from the person.
Okay.
It's not necessarily a relationship conflict, but you know, that's how I learned the lesson, is trying to get closure from someone who
That you can't.
you can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you really think about it, there's nothing a person can do. I mean, maybe if you were seriously wronged, like if you were actually wronged, it doesn't sound like she was wrong in any kind of really tangible way, like an apology.
I mean, that would help.
Or to know they feel bad, but even then, what does that do? It doesn't do anything.
I mean, it would get them past the hang up on that, so then they could focus on what needs to happen. I don't know. I get what you're saying, but ultimately, even if she does get the apology from him or whatever she needs or thinks she needs, it's still up to her, and it's going to come from her. She's going to have to forgive herself and
Right.
him and whatever else. You know, that's the thing that needs to heal.
I feel like also, well, yeah, I don't know. I think there's probably been past, maybe when I was much younger, there were relationships where I felt like, oh, you know, there wasn't really closure. I wish this would have done, but I just kind of, the older I get, the more relationships I've had, I've kind of gotten really good at just being like, well, it is what it is. That didn't work out for whatever reason, which means it, you know what I mean? Like there's no issue of closure, because if a relationship didn't work out, it didn't work out, and like that's the way it went. That's the way it was always going to go between you two, because you are the two people you are, or you were the two people you were, and there's nothing to say. I specifically told an ex, one of my last two, because she was talking about how she did this. She called one of her ex-boyfriends, and was like, they had been texting, like trying to like get closure or whatever. And I specifically told her, even though things were going good with us at the time, I was like, just so you know, if you ever try that with me or you send me a fucking email, you will never get a response. I let her know, like it pissed her off that I said that. I was just like, I'm never going to give you closure if we break up. Then she cheated on me with that boyfriend. But anyway. Closure. Dude, so stupid. Little bitch. Okay, anyway. Let me do one more before we do yours, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm not ready for the downer. I'm trying to decide between three of these, but that one's really a downer. Okay, this is from user Minute Swimming 352. Am I the asshole for kicking my boyfriend out after he confessed to hiring a guy to flirt with me? I picked this because it's another testing, but it's a guy doing it to a woman. I made it a little bit about how this is a thing women do last time, but it's a guy thing too. I'm a 26-year-old female. I've been dating my boyfriend Tom, 30 years old, for a year. He's sweet, kind, but ridiculously insecure about his height. He's 5'2". I've done everything to reassure him that I love him for who he is, but apparently that wasn't enough. Last night, he came over acting weird. He was quiet, Picking at his food, not eating. His hands were shaking, and he couldn't even look me in the eye. I kept asking him what's wrong, and he mumbled something about how he tested my loyalty. Confused, I asked him what the hell he meant. That's when he explained very quickly and nervously that he had paid a random 6'5" handsome Instagram guy $200 to DM me and flirt with me. Why? Because he thought I'd leave him for someone taller. That's wild. And hotter if given the chance. I remember the guy. He texted me a few days ago. I didn't even reply to him, obviously, and blocked him eventually when he didn't stop texting. Apparently, even though I passed the test, he still went through my phone while I was asleep to double check. I felt my blood boil. I told him the fact that he paid some random dude $200 just to test me was disgusting, and I never gave him a reason to mistrust me that much. That's when he absolutely lost it. He dropped to his knees and started crying, full-on ugly sobbing while grabbing my leg. Bro, this is short guy energy. At some point, he even started apologizing in Latin. What the fuck? Mumbling, mea culpa, over and over. And I kind of got the ick. Ew, stop. Dude, that's my ick, is when chicks say the ick. He said he couldn't hear the thought of me leaving him and made the biggest mistake of his life. I was so furious, I told him to get off the floor and leave, but he refused. He started bawling even harder and said that he'll die without me. This is a meltdown. At this point, I told him I wasn't kicking him out forever, but I needed space and time to think. He probably thought she was having a taller guy over. He refused again, holding onto my leg like I was about to drag him out by force. Eventually, I snapped and yelled that if he didn't leave, this relationship would be over. That's got through to him. He stood up, all 5'3" of him, still crying, and walked out the door, mumbling apologies the whole way. Now I'm sitting here furious and exhausted. I love him, but this whole situation has me questioning everything, testing me, going through my phone, refusing to leave when I said I needed space. What do I even do with this? Maybe I'm overreacting. It just made me mad that he does this ridiculous shit when I never gave him a reason to think I'd be unfaithful. Absolutely. Break up with him.
Yeah, that's another, it needs to come from within moment. My dad calls that a get back to Jesus moment.
Yeah. This guy's going to make your life hell. He's never going to like himself enough.
He hired someone who was 15 inches taller than him to flirt with you.
What is the fucking... He's just on Instagram looking at hot, tall guys. Maybe you should go through his phone.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
Like... Dude, that's so... Would you take the $200 to do that?
No, I wouldn't want to be involved with something like that. Well, $200 is $200. I definitely would never test. I would never do that. We talked about this on the show before. I do not understand the logic at all.
That's not rational.
And this is, look, she passed it, and the result was he had a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Shouldn't he be happy? Like he would have been more happy if she cheated on him with the guy he paid to cheat on her with.
It's an irrational behavior to begin with, so the rational answer isn't going to resolve anything for him.
No.
He's not operating from a place of logic.
Maybe he should get taller. Now I just want to. I don't ever make fun of short people, but now I just want to knock him for being so insecure.
He's gonna be like, "What? Yeah, you're like." She's having a taller guy over, and he's gonna be like, "What are you having a taller guy over?" And she's gonna be like, "Yeah, he's 5'4".
Yeah, he's everything you're not.
He's 5'4 and a half.
He uses one less rung on the ladder to get the green beans. Yeah, I don't know, dude. That is some deep shit, dude. That's some deep shit. I say run away.
You picked a lot of like psychological unpacking that would take years of schooling to even begin to understand.
I don't know what it is though about the testing thing. It's like you don't feel like you're good enough. And again, like I've said in previous episodes before, I said it for women, now a guy's doing it. What if she did run off with the hot Instagram 6'5"?
It sounds like it's not like he's unaware. It sounds like he is aware that he knows his insecurity will be a problem. And he did that hoping she would fail, so he had an easy out.
Yes.
There's some other thing along with insecurity that
he wants
can't
confirmation
confront.
that he's not good enough.
Yeah. Because then he doesn't have to confront it. It's just he's just operating on that belief system.
He doesn't have to overcome it.
Yes, he just continues, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and
Got the ick. She's like describes this extremely bizarre scenario where he like pays a guy,
Speaking in tongues.
goes to her phone, starts speaking in tongues, and she's like, that gave me the ick. His head started spinning around. Ick. I hate the ick thing, bro.
yeah,
It's like a little kid. It's like icky. Green beans are icky. It's icky. It's just a weird, immature, condescending.
yeah, it's condescending. It's meant to like humiliate and like shame and
Right. It's like calling someone gross. Like, ew, gross.
yeah.
It's like, well, what you really mean is you lost attraction because he's acting like a crazy 3-year-old child. It's not icky. It's not gross. It's like, whatever. All right, you ready to bum me out at the end of this episode?
Yeah.
All right. Get ready. I don't know what this is.
This is from Legal Advice.
Okay, I'm a lawyer.
I figured
This is
you
not
might-
legal advice.
Yeah. User own_fix 2833. Dog sitter killed my dog and won't pay the vet bills. Hi,
Dog sitter killed my dog.
Yes.
Okay.
And won't pay the vet bills. Hi, everyone. It breaks my heart to be writing this, and I am not sure anything can be done legally, but I wanted to check. For a recent 3-day trip, I hired a dog sitter to watch my 8-month-old puppy. On the 3rd day, she left out a bottle of her meds on a coffee table, fell asleep, presumably from the meds, and woke up to find the dog had eaten all the pills and was throwing up. Instead of immediately calling us or taking the puppy to the vet, she waited several hours before determining that it was bad enough to warrant a vet visit. When she finally took the dog, the vet said the drugs were already coursing through her system and there wasn't much they could do. Tragically, her puppy passed away
Oh my God.
from the strain these drugs put on her system.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Now the sitter is not only refusing to give back what we paid her to watch the dog, but is also refusing to pay the vet bills. I would love to know if there's anything I could do legally to go after this woman for the costs. Unfortunately, this was done outside of any formal sitting service, and we live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
I don't see why. Well, hold on. First of all, my advice. Here's what I would do. If someone killed my dog,
Number 2?
9 bullets. That's how you get your revenge, dude. Of course, 8-month puppy may not have a huge emotional connection yet. I don't see why not. Animals are property.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always pissed me off too. I've always felt like there should be a law that like an animal's worth more than what it would be on. You know what I mean? Like if you've had it for a certain amount of time. Like if I kill.
Like, is a service dog
If I-
worth more money than a regular dog?
Right, probably. Yeah. Well, here's what I was gonna say. First of all, an animal is property.
This is not legal advice.
An animal is well, this kind of is. I mean, an animal is not. Yeah, the bullet thing was not legal advice. An animal is property. It has a value. So yeah. So absolutely, you could sue them for that, and you could sue them for the vet bills and all the money. You could sue them for the money you paid them for the service, like all of that. I don't see why they don't realize that. It'd probably be like a small claims.
Would it be a civil case?
Yeah.
Or is it...
Yeah, of course.
okay,
Negligence.
Yeah, okay.
It's negligent. You entrusted your. It's the same as if you had someone house sitting, and you come home and your $5,000 TV is, busted on the ground. Like, yeah, this is negligence, and it destroyed something that is their property, their dog. So yes,
It sounds like...
I don't know how much money you'd get.
Yeah, I mean, like, some dogs are like if it was like a French bulldog, it's a
Probably
couple $1,000.
emotional distress.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's totally legal avenues for that. You can just kill somebody's dog and get away with it. I don't think it's probably not a crime. Like animal cruelty is probably has to be intentional.
Yeah.
It's probably an intentional, but definitely you're negligent. You destroy their property, and and along with that came financial stuff. Also, the contract for the dog sitting, probably kind of inherent in that, is that you're not going to kill the dog. The whole purpose of you being there is to keep the dog alive.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could definitely say that frustrates the contract you had, or that the contract was not fulfilled, or. But yeah, that's okay. That is a bummer. Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Is it weird that I'm glad? But yeah, I've always thought, and maybe some states do have these laws that, like, the value of a pet should be like fixed in law, kind of. You know what I mean? A little bit. Like,
Well, what
like
do
a
you, what
like.
do you mean?
Well, okay. So for instance, in this scenario, you know, I would assume the court would try to like value the dog
Okay. Well, okay.
as like property, kind of like the TV thing.
I found Daisy on the street, so she has $0 amount.
That's
you know what I'm saying. Okay,
well,
so what do you-
no, because she has a market value.
Okay, that's
But
what
I've
that's what
always-
I'm trying to understand.
I've always thought, you found Daisy on the street. She's a mutt.
Yeah.
I've always thought there should just be a law that says, like, if your dog is your dog for over a year, then it's worth at least $5,000 or something like that. No matter what. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that if somebody were to do something horrible to her,
Because
they wouldn't just say, well, a dog of her age is worth $300. Here's your $300. Because the emotional, as a society, we have emotional connections to our pets.
Well, even if you just view it as like property, then it's like you're investing in your property because it adds value to your life. So all the food, all the vet bills, all the auxiliary shit, you're to sustain the life of the dog. So then, like, you invested all this money and you don't have that value of your property. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. I just feel like they're living things. They are companions. I just feel like we should recognize that as a society in a way where if somebody hurts a dog, it's worth much more than just how much you can sell the dog. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I don't understand why that isn't the case everywhere, because you think that'd be a very popular law. I think any pet owner would be like, yeah. Anyway, that's my legal advice. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. That was a good one.
It's just it's a bummer. Obviously, yeah, go kill those people. That's my legal advice.
What a stupid accident. How do you leave a bottle of pills? Dude, part of me feels like that's such a an 8-month-old puppy. I don't know what kind of dog it is. Got on the coffee table and ate a bunch of pills.
And you didn't wake up.
And
yeah, it sounds like.
And you left the cap on the pills. You left the cap off. I don't know.
It sounds like the person was possibly abusing these drugs.
True.
And, you know, like, they're only supposed to take half a bar of Xanax, but it's like, oh, all I'm doing is watching TV, and they just took one, you know, they took double what they're supposed to, and then it's like, oh, I have to be here, and I whatever. I don't know. It seems so irresponsible.
Yeah. Well, every single person we talked about today is not the asshole.
Yeah.
They've all been wronged.
It's rare.
Well, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Any final words? Tomorrow is Mailbox Thursday. Nick's got a bunch of videos I've been ignoring.
I got some.
And maybe some I sent him. I don't know.
Yep. I got a nice little mixed bag, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look in your sack. That was a stretch.
I'm gonna stretch my sack open for you, Dennis.
Love y'all.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye.